Knight. So it's actually a really good story. It seems to be an ongoing thing, or it's at least a miniseries, I'm sure, because there's another one coming. Excuse me.
Yeah, so the Green Arrow is the finale for Gotham Resistance, which started in Teen Titans the other month, and
Yeah,
continued
I was
in
gonna say
Nightwing.
that once again, I'm gonna spoil it, but Doctor Fate intervenes once again, I should say. So it's clearly an important metal tie-in because Doctor Fate's taking these people somewhere in a
Doctor
great meeting of the League or something.
Doctor Fate is going to play a huge role in this.
Yeah,
I would kind of like to also. I mean, I know Doctor Fate's going to play a role. I would love to see. We already know that. Well, we know Doctor Fate's playing a role. We know the Sandman has a role. Um,
yes, with Batman at the moment,
yeah.
or he was with Batman.
The
But Batman is now in the dark dimension or something.
The only two others of that kind of caliber that I have not really, I mean, we've had a glimpse of one of them with Vandal Savage, but the other two, I would think they're probably not going to have a major part in it, but I thought would maybe have a part would be Phantom Stranger and the Spectre.
Yeah, well, Phantom Stranger was a Spectre at that meeting of the Immortals in the Hall of Doom.
I didn't see that one. I didn't see him. I know Phantom Stranger was there.
Yeah, Phantom Stranger was at the table. I know when Vandal Savage is there, and it's like all of the Immortals of the DC Earth, whatever Prime or whatever it is. They were all in the Legion of Doom, and yeah, I don't remember exactly. I gotta look at that panel again and see who all was in there. I've got my hard copy of Metal finally now, so I can like check it out and look.
So definitely pick up the Dawnbreaker once again. A great one shot. The next one we're gonna get from these one shots is The Drowned, which is the Aquaman Dark Knight, the female.
That's going to be interesting. I want to see how that plays out because it's essentially the Bruce Wayne of these. Well, except for the Dawnbreaker, he didn't merge with anybody. He got the ring himself and became Batman. The other two merged with Cyborg and merged with the Barry Allen of their own universe.
Well, the first one merged with Barry Allen. The second one merged with his Alfred AI. So he didn't merge.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Cyborg.
They killed AI. Cyborg.
But essentially, they're the dark side of the coin.
Yeah. So two of them so far have merged with other beings. The Dawnbreaker did not. He got a Green Lantern ring naturally on his own, and he became the Dawnbreaker by walking into the Green Lantern battery.
Yeah.
So that was a different kind of origin. So we'll see what the Aqua Mira whatever. I'm thinking he's gonna merge with Mira or something.
Yeah. So next up was Batman number 32, I believe it is.
Yeah, the conclusion, I believe, or somewhat of the conclusion of the War of Jokes and Riddles.
So we finally get to see Batman. This entire series for the War of Jokes and Riddles has been Batman telling Selina Kyle about probably the worst time his time as Batman.
Yeah.
The decision he had to make, and the first 4 or 5 pages of this is just silence and grunts. There's not much dialogue to get to about the middle of the book. When you finally have the Riddler, Joker, and Batman standing there, and the Riddler laying out his entire plan, everything that he had done, his whole thing. He's asking why the Batman subdues the Riddler, and he asks if the Joker's laughing because of the irony and everything, and the Joker's not laughing at all.
Yeah, and we come to find out this was all pre-planned for the Riddler planned for himself to lose this fight because he wanted to make the Joker laugh. And he wanted it to be such a ridiculous thing that he was defeated by Kite Man. And he said, "Do you know how long it took for me to create something as ridiculous as Kite Man?" And knowing he would lead Batman here, and knowing all this would happen, and the Joker still didn't laugh. It wasn't funny.
So all this stuff talking about the Riddler, about how he killed the Kite Man's son and everything to create Kite Man.
Yeah.
I did like
and that was the thing. The Kite Man's son is what sets Batman off, by the way. That's the
Batman's
thing.
off. Now, I did like it that the Riddlers keeps going on, and the Joker's just subtly telling a knock-knock joke. And it's the one about it's about interrupting Cal.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. So he pushes Bruce to the breaking point where Bruce takes a knife and goes to stab the Riddler in the face, to kill the Riddler.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to end him right then and there.
He's going to end him, but he's stopped by the Joker, who puts his hand out and takes the knife through the hand. Which he does. Then the Joker does say, "Now that's funny."
Yeah, and that's it. That makes the Joker laugh. But he said Batman essentially says that his mental predicament he's having is that the Joker is all that stands between him and the rest of them. It's like he said, the only thing that stands between me and the rest of these crazy murderers is his hand. It's the only thing that's kept me any different. And said he has, it's bothering him that he has the Joker. And he even asked the Joker, "Why did you save me?" And the Joker gives him his answer. But it's like, he tells Catwoman, "I'm no better than them, and the only reason I'm not a murderer today is because of the Joker's hand."
Later, this is right from the book. Later in Arkham, I asked the Joker why he saved me. He asked me if I knew the difference between a joke and a riddle. I said no. He said when I figured that out, I'd understand.
Yeah, and that's Bruce's. He's tortured and he needs Catwoman, and Catwoman tells him that it doesn't matter, that none of it matters. Whatever they've done, like she's killed, she's done things. She's been a criminal her whole life, and she doesn't play by anybody's rules. And she said well, whatever they've both done, it doesn't matter. And the proposal. For a major spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear this, turn it off right now. Catwoman said yes. Catwoman will marry the Batman in the future at some point, as far as as we were left.
The marriage of the cat and the bat.
What Damien's getting one hell of a stepmom.
Damien's getting one hot ass stepmom.
I like Catwoman better than Talia al Ghul.
I do too. I've always liked Cat. I've always liked the back and forth between Catwoman and Bruce. I especially liked it when it started. Really, and I liked it from like the 500s, Batman 500 and up, and then of course the New 52. And I love the New 52 Catwoman. I really
that was one of my favorites. I love that the story when she went after the Penguin, when they had the gang war with the Penguin. That was a great arc. I like the Black Diamond arc that she did. Catwoman's probably my favorite DC villainess.
Yeah, and we've talked about it many times in the show. After the death of Damian, when Bruce was at his worst, really, that was, if you really want to get honest, Bruce is telling Selina all this about the war, jokes, and riddles, but she's seen him at his worst when Damian died, and he punched her motorcycle helmet and dented it.
Yeah, she tried to mess with him. She was messing with him. She's trying to break his brooding, and he really got pissed. And that was the first time she was scared of him. She was never scared of Bruce, and he scared the living shit out of her in that episode, in that issue.
And that was, honestly, that was probably at his worst, because he was.
He punched her. Something that's designed to take the impact of a car crash, he punched his fist imprint into it.
Because think about, if you really want to think about it, this whole thing, what did he almost killed the Riddler. Okay, he almost killed the Riddler. When Damian died, he frickin' dissected Frankenstein.
Yeah, well, Frankenstein stays alive when you cut him all up, though. He's
but still,
got
he
regeneration.
Dissected Frankenstein.
that was one of the darkest things I've seen Batman do, was that whole after. I think even more so. Like, this didn't strike me as big a deal to me as it is to Batman.
Right.
Because it's his personal code. It's not my code. I respect his code as a character in the book.
Chief will kill you like that, no matter
I got a Red Hood code. I got more of the Red Hood code.
Yeah.
I like the Red Hood's style, but I mean, I love Batman. It's probably my favorite DC book. But I mean,
when Damian died, I mean we saw him interact with everybody, with Red Robin, with Red Hood, with Catwoman.
yeah, well, the Batman and Robin titles switched titles every month, and it was like Batman and Catwoman, Batman and Batgirl, Batman and Nightwing, Batman and Red Hood, and he kind of cycled through all the Bat Kids to. I think they did a Batman and Red Robin one too. And,
yeah, they did. The Batman and Red Hood one, other than the Catwoman, the Batman and Red Hood one was one of my favorites because Batman took.
That was the
Hood.
Frankenstein one, I believe. That's the one where he had Frankenstein hold.
Well, he took Red Hood back to where Red Hood died when the Joker blew him and his mom up in that building. You know, death in the family, and him and Jason have it out. I mean, they fight. And Jason is just pissed off. He's like, why the hell did you bring me back here? You honestly think that I want to relive this? Damien's dead, okay? He's like, let Damien die. You don't want Damien to come back like I did. And Bruce is trying to bring Damien back, and Red Hood's like, do you want him to come back like I did? Do you want him to come back screwed up like I am?
And as we know, he did come back, but he had like Kryptonian powers for some
a little bit. But of all those tie-ins, other than Catwoman, Red Hood was really the one because Nightwing's trying to help him out, Tim Drake's trying to help him out, but really it was Jason Todd that said, "Look, I am the first Robin you lost, and look at me now. Look what happened. Look what happened to me." Do you really want that for your son, your flesh and blood son?
Yeah, I think that Batman takes to heart more what Red Hood says, even than Dick Grayson.
He does.
He still thinks of Dick Grayson as his child. He still thinks of Dick Grayson as his oldest child.
His first Robin, yeah.
He thinks of Tim Drake as his goody son. Damian is his rambunctious grade schooler son. But Red Hood to him, I think, is more of a partner and more of an adult. I think he considers because Red Hood has died and come back from the dead, because he is killed and has a more almost Punisher-like style than Batman. I think he respects the opinion of Red Hood more than he does the other kids.
Well, I mean, really, you think about it. With Nightwing, with Dick Grayson. He let Dick he let Dick kind of go on his own. He's out in Bloodhaven. He's doing his thing out there in Bloodhaven.
But he still has resentment for Dick for leaving him, and I don't think he has that for Red Hood. I think when the Bat Kids leave him, he holds resentment, except Jason Todd. I think he's accepted that Jason Todd is his own man, and still and has a different relationship with Jason Todd than all the rest of the Bat Kids.
Well, like I was saying, Dick went off to do the stuff in Bloodhaven. He had Tim Drake put into that team with Batwoman to train because he said they're not ready yet. Yeah. He has to train these people. Batgirl, with Batgirl, he's just kind of like, whatever, it's Batgirl. She can go wear her Doc Martens and whatever, her yellow Doc Martens and wherever she's at.
She hasn't really been involved until Metal, because she was involved in Metal issue 2.
Yeah.
But she hasn't been in any major arcs really a lot since. Not Barbara hasn't been involved.
They've taken Barbara away from the Bat family and making her do her own thing. But with Jason, I mean, when Batman needed somebody to infiltrate the Gotham Underground, he went to Jason. He knows Jason can go places that no other members of the Bat family can go because of Jason's code. Because Jason is willing to kill. Because
he'll do the thing that Batman can't do.
Yeah.
And that's the reason he wanted him along in that when he is in the Batman and Red Hood issue, there's something to the fact where he asked him why he asked him to come, and he said, because I know you'll do the thing I can't do. And that's why he had him there, in case there needed to be something done that Batman wouldn't do.
Right.
And he brought him intentionally for that purpose. So, but the thing I love about the Bat family is no matter how much infighting they have, when Bruce puts out the call, they're like soldiers, and they're there. And it doesn't matter. They will go against the Justice League for Bruce, no matter what bad blood they have. They stand by Bruce against anybody else. And we saw that in Metal when they were trying to sneak Batman out, and the whole family came together and put on bat suits and went off 10 different directions as decoys, and they got Batman out of the jungle.
Yeah.
And So I love that the Bat family is so tight that they can despise